You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Given these same resources and these same opportunities, black people excel. I want to dedicate the final part to this video.
Great. Great, then I guess we don't need the DEI. Okay, awesome. So we're on the same page then. Amazing.
To showing off some black excellence. Right here, we have my boy Jaden, and he says, writing, and now I'm a journalism grad. Shout out to bro. Right here, he said, just became a part of the national 3% of black women in bachelor's in computer science. Shout out to her. Right here, we got a black man flexing with his doctorate degree. And my boy got the dreads. You don't have to conform to achieve greatness. Oh, we got...
Bro, what year is this?
This is but a temporary
Are we
alliance.
really gonna act
However,
like having dreadlocks
should you
is like
choose to
not
join your
conforming
mutant
in the
brethren
year
on Krakoa?
2026? Really? Like, come on, like,
Battle starts in
this isn't
5,
1970 anymore.
3,
Holy
2,
fuck.
1.
Got a grandma
All you need to do
graduate.
is
Look at
capture
this.
the mission
82
area.
years old. It's
Got it?
never too late, y'all. Never. 22 years old, 12 days after North Carolina A&T graduation. And she bought herself a home. And she graduated college.
It seems
Right here,
we
we got a
have
group of
company.
brothers graduating. Look at this, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to talk about it.
Does he think that, like, this is gonna, like, make me mad?
Miniature metal spiders.
I'm gonna be like, oh, fuck, man! Not another one!
Right here, once again, we got a bunch of brothers. Look at them getting through. Look at all these flags. They degrees, bro.
I can't
Again,
see it!
they wouldn't want to talk about this. They wouldn't want to show it. And then if they even get it, they're going to talk about DEI,
Oh my
DEI. Bro.
God.
Y'all just catch up. You know what I'm saying? Right here, once again, this is a whole, like I say, bro, we just, I see this so much. This is why I be like, why all y'all talking about this black tea, cherry pick topics? Why don't you guys
Not
never
even saying that.
even talk about these? Once again, a room full of black men, dreads, afros.
Like, yeah, we can have dreadlocks and afros. Like, this is nobody stopped. Nobody's against. Nope. You're literally fighting a war against nobody. Nobody. Yeah. Duh. That's fine.
Get into it, bro.
Hey, another successful flight. All glory be to God. Just touched down at the airport. And with this tour, you gotta be cautious. Most of all, you gotta stay crazy.
The little black
Oh man, that makes me so mad, bro. Like a black pilot. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is the country coming
I feel like
Oh, bro, I'm
myself
so
again.
mad right now. Oh, and it's a. Oh man, now I'm even more mad. Oh no.
Girls don't know they can be pilots? Guess what? That's not something they're going to choose.
Yeah.
My name is Captain
Well, of
Teresa
course they can be pilots. You just said they couldn't drive.
Claiborne. I am a 787 captain for United Airlines.
Another black woman has entered the flight deck. It's my cousin's first flight as the first officer of Southwest Airlines. First officer from my started her journey in aviation almost 9 years ago as a pilot team for Southwest Airlines. We joined the Destination to Training program to become a pilot, and today the president of the as a first officer for United Airlines.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Do you think that there's anybody that's like sitting here that's like looking at a black business owner that's starting his own small business and they're like,
You're halfway there. Keep going.
dude, oh my god, why is this president shut it down? Like, really?
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
That's actually pretty good. That is good. If they have, like, I don't know if it's an annual cleaning, it's not good, but if it's like 2 times a year, that's pretty good. Or if there's anything else included with it, yeah,
Keep
that's
up the
Comes with
momentum.
2 free cleanings. That comes with your X-rays, your exams, and then 30 to 40% off all your dental treatment.
I'm a black
That's insane. That's really good. God damn.
female doctor. Of course I have to smile all the time. Well, I'm seen as mean, rude, and aggressive.
Right. But is this what the voices are telling you? I'm sure there's some, by the way, as a white guy, there are people that look at me and think that I was mean, rude, and aggressive. Sure, this is what happened.
I'm a black female doctor. Of course patients think that I'm the nurse.
Yeah, so...
I'll patch you
They're
up.
tech, social worker, keeping maintenance, and personal chef. I'm a black female doctor. Of course patients want to touch my hair while I'm listening to their heart and lungs.
This video will literally.
Us against the world!
But at the end of the day, I think that it's not like that's the type of like people will ask you like, oh wow, you're really tall, or you know something else. Like they'll ask you questions. Like, I don't think that this is like something that's like mean or evil. Like you could say that it's inappropriate or it's silly or you shouldn't do it, but it's not mean. Right? I mean, people do that. They do that. Old people.
The hour long about showing all of these black shirts. I appreciate all the love and support y'all been showing, though. You want to see
Another epic victory!
Yeah, bro, like, thank God. I'm glad he didn't do that. That would have made me, bro, like, I would have probably had to end the stream.
something similar to this? Go check out me debunking why are black neighborhoods dirty, because it's not really true.
Right. So anyway, I just don't think that you should be basing advantages like this off of race. I think that when you can quantify things like generational wealth and the inability to have a lot of black people that have that, then you should look at, because there's white people that are also victims of that same problem. And so why don't you look at trying to improve that on a systematic numerical level based off of income? So I'm not even mad about this, right? I don't even like... I think that really it's just a matter of perspective, and I can see why, you know, again, and if you take the, you know, the 20 seconds of me saying this and it's framed in a way that makes me look racist, I can see why he would think that I'm this like crazy, super bad racist guy. But it's just simply that is an excerpt from a longer conversation about the topic. And I think that really what I'm saying is extremely valid. I think it's very valid. And I think that really any of the DEI stuff or any other advantages that are provided to people that are based on immutable characteristics, that I think that's unfair. It's very unfair.
He'll be coming in 30
Good video,
seconds.
kind of biased,
Stay
misled by a
strong.
clip. Well, I do have to give him credit, right? I mean, like, he did show the other clip of me talking about that. He was like, because this is something very few people do, is that he played a clip of me saying something that was like, well, wait a minute, well, why is he saying this if he previously said this? And that's more introspection and thinking than like 99.9% of people that criticize me on the internet. So I have no problem responding to a video like this and not going super aggro and getting mad, because he's at least trying to make an effort to understand my point of view. So that's really my position on it, right? Is that I don't think that you can look at these systematic reasons that are horrible historically and then use that as a justification for current day violent crime. I don't think that that's fair, and I think that ultimately people are accountable for themselves. And yes, you should have advantages for people that are disadvantaged, but you should look at what that disadvantage quantifiably is, and across the board that's income and not race. And so that's generally what it is. You guys understand the topics, we can only see the clip. Well, I get it, I understand. I get it, yeah, definitely. It's not a big deal. So let me scroll down. I'll link you guys the video. I'm not negative or hostile towards it. Like, it's not a big deal. Because I can see where, like, and like the way that the clip is framed, it does look bad. It definitely does. But yeah, I'm not negative about that. And gunshots at the White House.
Mutant's greatest gift.
Oh, he's racist? The fuck? Oh, about the melanin thing? He's just fucking around. Like, I mean, this is the same shit. Like, honestly, like, this is... The thing is that I think that you should be able to make jokes like that, and also I think I should be able to make jokes about like whatever racial thing you want. I think that everybody should be able to joke around like that because it's something that is in it. Again, it is in our history. It is our history. And we move forward with pastime and just joke about it. And again, keep in mind, the reason why we're joking about it is because we find it ridiculous that it's even discussed, right? It's funny because it's not true. That's it. So that's really the way I see it. And I think he's a bad actor for I didn't come here to read. It's a pool party!
There's still a chance to stop them.
Mutants always rise again.
Here we go. Let's begin, but the fungal. And before they start, the chain fungal. But we actually try to hold down the medevac, not worth the effort. What I'm really noticing is not a single Viper. And that has to be an intentional choice here.
Mutants
Feral, who has
always rise
historically,
again.
up until like this series, gone for 2 or 3 Vipers the moment a hive finished, has not built one in 2 games.
I feel
So
like
that
myself again.
is
You
something.
shall not be harmed.
We don't want Complete beacon on the left. That's Plum text up. I said complete beacon. The Terran equivalent, arguably better. I feel so exposed. More command centers across the board. And oh, here we go. The mass Zergling drop
You
is
are
coming
under my
in.
protection.
4 command centers on the way.
Protection.
Both sides maxed out. That means not too many reinforcements. Mass drop into the main. Cyril gonna drag the army out of position.
Like myself again.
Does he go for the attack? Otherwise, the production is under attack. The third base will be hit. But the stars are being torn down with the
By the eye of Agamotto!
well,
You are under my protection.
8 SCV is dead, but Cyril not quite able to translate it into much damage on the field, at least not quite yet. Another Widowmon will soften things up. More gonna burrow down. 10 SCV is dead. Saves a couple with the command center. 3-3 is on the way for both sides, but Cyril's actually going to have the upgrade.
Stop them in their tracks.
Well, no, maxed out. 78 SCV, 92 drones per Cyril. A booming economy. And here comes one of the very first banelings of the game, for the series, rather. Cyril has speed done already. And those banelings, he's now maxed out. This is the only way to increase the power of his army. He's gonna fake the drop into the main to try to drag the army back into position. The Widowmon goes back into the Zerglings, but the banelings go unchecked. Splits off a few for the army, splits off more for the planetary. Oh, it's close! But the ultra's hitting the third simultaneously. Brings it around the pick off some of the banelings. Miscalculation. The banelings not back through the planetary. And Clown will win the fight decisively. 2,500, 600 resources to just 900 limit. But Cyril is now mining from the gold base at the 3 o'clock. The contested base. There's now a number of bases on this map. The decisive resource advantage as time goes up. The infestors build underneath. The Zergling split to spread out the Widowmon. The Ultras and the Baneling slicing through. The infestors on Burrow trying to chase things down. Throws out the fungals on the front line. The planetary is cloven in twain. The Ultras will retreat for now. Caduceus reactor on the way. 3-3 about to complete. Cyril took that fight when he had an upgrade advantage. But it's about to be evened up as the Terran army comes back across the map. The top right corner, the Zerglings chewing through it, but it cancels the planetary. Blitz up. And will be cleaned up for now. Clem darting through into the gold base. Under fire. And the hatchery is taking down the rest of the units. Covered with a rocket, a hard play. The Venn diagram of freedom of the Liberators. Now cancels into the command center. Abandons mines from the one down the center. More Zerglings to the north side. Ultras obliterated by Widowmon. The drones come out. The Banelings roll into the front. Snipes interrupted. Fungal
thrown out, misses the mark for the most part, but the planetary fortress will be taken down as well. 2-3 bases denied by Sarah. He still has 85 drones, 2 more hatcheries in production, and this time around the finisher has the economy to follow it up. He may have lost the gold phase, but the economic advantage is decisively and overwhelmingly in his favor. The healing shrine actually being utilized, the queen's gathering, plotting, scheming. That would be a little derogatory, but
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Do you guys see this? I'm like literally
We have a
being
mafia on
surrounded.
us.
This is very weird. This is very fascistic behavior.
look, we can't move.
Oh.
Look, we can't move.
You guys are such losers. What is a woman?
What is a woman? You know, as a man,
I will bring peace to this universe, no matter the
I'm going to
cost.
say that a woman who considers herself a woman.
Queer people celebrate everybody. Love is love. Yeah, all of it.
So queer people celebrate everybody. Do you guys celebrate queer conservatives?
No, never.
I was born to change humanity.
Is that
for
the law?
better. That time has
Did
come.
Mom Donnie or Hoko make that law? So what makes you think you have the right to go and do that and silence somebody else's voices?
God is a dirt.
It's more than just a suit of armor. Fighters like party.
Hey everyone, it's Savannah with Her Patriot Voice, or today, Black Queens Against Oppression. I am here with my amazing friend Daniel. How are you?
I'm living the dream. I'm
Where
so
are we
excited.
today?
We're at Brian
Battle
Park.
starts in 5,
For the
Dyke March.
3,
what is a dyke?
2,
I still don't know.
1.
We're gonna try to find out what a dyke is today. Go ahead and follow Daniel. We're walking around. We already had some good conversations. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, so that you'll see more videos like this one. Let's go.
Celebrating Dyke March.
Now on the website, it said that anybody who identifies as a dyke could attend. What is a dyke for all the confused, possible conservative Nazis watching? Whatever you want it to be?
Yeah, someone who's gay and maybe wants to do intimacy a little differently.
Can men be dykes?
Thanks for the
Yeah,
boost.
you can have a lesbian boyfriend. A lesbian boyfriend. Can you explain that to me? Do you know what that means?
That's for the lesbian boyfriend's house.
Okay, so if I have a boyfriend and he likes me, does that make them lesbian?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Hey, can I get you guys just like shaking your bells? No, I'm trying to figure something out. So, on the website, it said that like anyone who identifies as a dyke could attend the march. Right. Yeah. Stay safe. Hi guys. Are you guys creating a wall?
Yes.
For what?
He's present.
Oh, okay. I thought we were against walls.
Whether you march or you don't. I don't know.
Okay, March, you're not? Okay, cool.
What is a dyke?
Are you guys hanging out with me? Why? Well, it's a big march. Isn't that like stalking? Good, I'm at the dyke march. Supernova! They can just stand there if they want.
Are you shutting down a gay man's voice?
Okay.
You are safe now, my friend.
I mean, I don't have to leave. This is like a public space. Yeah. Cool. We're already being followed because, like, we're so cool. Are you guys police? There's like a bunch of white people following me. Why do you think I'm being followed? Wonderful.
We stop them in their tracks.
Because you're really cool. I guess, but other people aren't. I don't know. I feel like a little bit like scared because like I'm Black Queens Against Oppression, and like a bunch of white people are following me. We're white people against oppression. Well, I would like, as a black woman, to use my right to walk freely through my country. Are you, as a white woman, telling a white woman to not talk to a brown woman? That's so backward.
Can a gay man sell his ride?
Who told you to start following me and why? Are you okay? Am I what?
I sense them.
Yeah. Are you? Because I don't follow people. I think that's a little weird. Are you okay? Why are you following me? You're welcome. Why are you following me? This is close enough. Actually, this is a little too close. Do you guys see this? We have a mafia on us. This is very weird. This is very fascistic behavior that you guys are like telling people they don't have to talk to me. They know that. All of the people here are strong, independent women, non-binaries.
It's our policy to follow all.
Is that the law? Did Mom Donnie or Toko make that law? So what makes you think you have the right to go and do that and silence somebody else's voices? Do you care about black women? Do you care about women?
Now might be a good time to stop them. Not doing this.
No, you're not. You don't. I know.
Not doing this with you, right?
Or is it only black women who agree with you, even if you don't even know my opinion? So I'm gonna ask you guys very nicely to stop following me because you legally do not have the authority to do that. It is my right as an American citizen to speak my mind. And this is what you guys have been doing for centuries in this country. That's what you guys always say, right? That it's the white people oppressing people of color, and you are following me around and telling people not to talk to me and silencing my voice, and I don't appreciate that. So I'm gonna ask you to stop once, and then I will be getting the actual to tell them that you are stopping, because right now you are stopping. Got it? Let's continue. You look so beautiful. You're welcome. Yeah, you can.
We don't need you to talk for a black woman.
I'm what? Listen to a white woman tell you who I am. You're so beautiful. This is so fascistic, you guys. Telling another woman to not talk to another woman. It's really interesting. You know, our voices are constantly being silenced. But the reality is that these people follow us. They watch our content. They're actually hired. They all have matching shirts, all those people. They're hired to follow around journalists or content creators like ourselves just because we want to ask questions. Hi there. What is the Catholic lesbian? It's at a church downtown. Okay. And what do you guys do in Catholic lesbian? Do you think that your faith, because I'm also a Catholic, do you think that it's open to people of the LGBT community? I think it is. Because I think it is. A lot of people say that Christianity, oh my God, look at what you're doing, you're like cornering her in. A lot of people say that Christianity is not welcoming to LGBTQ people. Would you disagree? Don't touch me. Don't touch her. You literally just rammed your body into me. Do not touch me. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Why are you so fascistic? This is fascism. I'm trying to have a conversation with a fellow Catholic, and you're shutting down that conversation. How long are you guys going to do this, and who gave you the authority? Because it wasn't the Founding Fathers. Do you think you're better than me?
You want to shut down every kind of conversation. Why
Do
is
you think
that?
that you're better than me? I'm sure you don't, but you can ram your body into me and physically make contact with me, which is assault. Now you want to walk away. You were so happy. You were so happy to be up on me in my personal space. Why are you? So then walk away. I've already asked you to go away.
We've asked you like 3 times now to walk away, and you still haven't done it.
If somebody communicates that you're making them
Only 60
uncomfortable,
seconds left.
do you respect that and say, I don't consent to you touching me, to you putting your hands in my face, or do you not care when people say no? Do you not care when people say, no, don't touch me, no, don't follow me? Yeah, it's not very fun being followed, is it? It's not very fun. It's weird, creepy.
And how much are you getting paid?
Good, I love your outfit. What's the importance of coming out to the Dyke March?
What's the importance of it?
Okay, you know, these people, they keep following me. I'm with Black Queens Against Oppression. They don't like my YouTube channel.
They're shutting down your First Amendment right now.
Do you like support other people that like might have different political opinions but are still in the LGBT community?
I'm sorry, I'm really confused.
Why do you do that? Why?
Yeah, you're confused, we know.
you say? And who?
I know who you are.
Oh, awesome. You follow me?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, but you knew my government name.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Thank you.
You watch my videos?
I don't.
Well, how do you know who I am then?
I recognize you.
Well, that's not how I identify today. So what actually I was talking about is that on the website for this march, it says that everybody is allowed to identify as a dyke. What is a dyke? Whoa, they turned their back on us, Savannah. Oh my gosh, a black woman turning her back on another black woman. Why are you doing that? You don't accept all black people? You do realize that you would like to come over here. So are people who might be LGBTQ but might have differing political opinions still welcome at the Dyke March?
Everyone's welcome at the Dyke March.
Thank you, because they keep following me around and telling me that I'm not welcome because I might have different opinions, but I haven't even shared my opinions yet.
Good talking to you.
What's the sign language about?
Good talking to you.
But thank you for saying that, because you have fascistic friends over here that do not feel the same as what you just said. Yeah, it was really good talking to you as well. What's the importance of you coming to the Dyke March today?
How hard is it here to survive in California?
What percentage of people do you think are receiving benefits from the government?
Probably about 65.
Shoplifting in California is crazy because, you know, we have that law that under 950, it's not a felony. So that's a big hustle.
How much does somebody need to make to be able to afford to live here inside of Beverly Hills?
We're going through a horrible government right now.
But I expect you to make over a million.
So right here we have this Ferrari right here. How much is a Ferrari like this?
This is $610,000.
How hard is it to survive in California? Today we are seeing the realities of the 5th largest economy in the world. Only behind the US, China, Germany, and Japan lies California with the 5th largest economy in the entire world. They say the largest exodus of any other state in America has begun here in California, as over 500,000 residents have left California since the pandemic. And with California having the largest state taxes in all of America, and on top of that, California also has the largest homeless population in all of America, as nearly 30% of all of America's homeless population is living here, with over 170,000 people that are homeless here in California. And right now we're in Beverly Hills, but today we're starting this video off at the very bottom of the totem pole from rich to poor. We're going to be starting this video off in Skid Row.
And throughout this video, we will be moving throughout California in the LA area, speaking with all levels, from the rich to the poor, to the homeless in Skid Row, to local rappers, women workers in the streets, to high-end car dealers, and more, to show you how the rich versus the poor live here in the largest state in America. Let's start to this universe, Skid Row.
This is going to show you guys the extreme contrast between the rich and the poor here in California. How hard is it to survive here in California?
Pretty hard to survive out here. The cost of living is sky.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3,
I mean, and it's hard. I know for a lot of people. I'm struggling myself. You know, I work. I'm struggling myself. Me and my wife.
How much money do you have left over?
For me and my wife, I would say $500 to $600. You know, so for me, it's just surviving for everybody. I mean, that's really about it. You know.
How hard is it to get housing here? What are some of the struggles you face on the day that keep you here inside of Skid Row?
Well, I don't have no struggles. You know what I'm saying? My rent is so cheap. You know what I'm saying? So I want one of these. $58, sir.
$58
This shit will serve you well.
And how long can you live in that apartment for where you're just paying $58 a month?
Well, until you get kicked out.
How long have you been living there for?
4 years.
Do you ever have any plans of moving out of Skid Row?
Not until I save enough money.
And just for example, rents on Skid Row in LA cost from $2,200 to $700 to $3,500.
How much money do you think the average person here in LA has in the bank?
I am at your service. I adore your mission.
Do you think most people here have $1,000 in the bank account?
Especially right here, definitely where you're at.
What does somebody need to make on a monthly basis just to get by?
If you have rent, probably about $5,000, $6,000. Because if you want to live somewhere comfortable, but if you're struggling, then you could probably have about $3,000 if you want to pay rent and everything.
What percentage of people do you think are receiving benefits from the government, such as food stamps? How are you survive here?
I don't know if you're right now, you ain't gonna survive. Period. You gotta be a hustler out here.
What do you do hustle out here?
I'm trying to sell instead of go. It varies. According to the IRS, I make $50 a day. All you gotta do, I know he does that pleasure girl. He gonna wet her up like she said last night. He got 2 drops, like Colgate.
Say IRS and probation ain't watching, how much you making on a daily basis?
50 regardless, because I'm 2 gangster like that. I ain't gonna put it out there.
He ain't breaking. That's what it's all about. Support small businesses. We're hoping it's legal.
Surviving California, you just gotta be a hustler, G.
And how long you been living here in LA?
Man, I got one come on. What did I tell you? Born and raised. Born and motherfucking raised. I don't gotta say no more born, nothing less.
How much money does somebody need to make here in California, in Los Angeles?
Let's say you want to live in the ghetto. Let's say you want to live in the ghetto. You get $1,500 for rent. Just put it like that. Out there where y'all live, out of state, y'all pay $2,000 for a house. Out here we pay $1,500 for a ghetto. So I live in the suburbs. I pay $2,600.
How much more money do you make on top of that just to survive and be able to have fun and take care of the family?
Me personally, I'm an entrepreneur. Estimate roughly what I make about a month. IRS is off page, fake news, 6,000. So I can keep out the pocket. California, 100,000 is nothing. Elon Musk just left our stage. That's cool. You know, he's on the spectrum. I think.
What do most people think about here about Gavin Newsom?
They don't even know who he is. You were here in downtown Atlanta. Most people don't care. I know who he is. He's a liberal dude. You know, he's supporting criminals, whatever. I like him clearly. You see me, I'm fighting most likely under the system.
What are some side hustles that feel
I abhor your mission.
Off-market,
But your methods are effective.
off-market, what do you mean, like illegal shit or?
Yeah, like stuff that people don't really know about. Like,
Shit, I mean,
extra money.
I'm not a criminal or nothing like that, but I know a lot of people steal. I know shoplifting in California is crazy because, you know, we have that law under 950, it's not a felony. So that's a big hustle, I would say, for a lot of people. What else? You know, if it's big or whatever, OnlyFans, Instagram, Twitter. That's really where the money's at. Illegal food stands, a lot of illegal food stands do pop up. Illegal hustling. I'm permitted, I'm licensed, I'm everything. I mean, so I'm ICE to the venue or whatever. Free lawful to me. I would love it. What do you say is the big divide that lives on 4 here in California?
It's really, really big. Like the difference between living in a tent and living in a house.
Where are you living right now?
Pretty much in the sidewalk.
What kind of help, what kind of support do you get from the
general relief to get yourself killed, do some stuff, you can always pull yourself up by not your bootstrap, somebody else.
How long have you been living out here in Skid Row for?
That's the post I
What led you to come here to California to live here on Skid Row?
Beverly Hills.
And what do you mean by that?
Beverly Hills Police Department invited me here. Somebody had a house and a container of money. I wouldn't have to worry about anything at all.
How hard would you say it is to survive here in California?
Pretty easy. Weather's not bad.
Do you think that's one of the reasons why California has one of the highest homeless populations in the world is because of the good weather here?
Yeah, probably.
And because the weather here is so good, you always have blue skies. This is one of the locations that the states send their homeless population to, and homeless here themselves send themselves here to California. Because in reality, there aren't too many states and other locations in the world that would allow this to happen through their streets. I mean, look, this road is filled with tents from top to bottom. How hard would you say it is to survive here in California?
By the eye of Agamotto!
Two grizzly bears attacking each other, it's 10 out of 10.
Really? You
So
have
many
grizzly bears
objects
attacking
of
you?
power,
No, I'm
but they
saying
will have
it's
to
metaphor.
feel better already.
So how much money do you think is a good amount of money somebody needs to make a month to live here in California?
Oh, how much I need to make? God, dude. Oh, dude. You about to get into some shit. How much fucking money do we... Can I cuss?
Yes.
How much...
Coming through!
Healing power. I'll bet you this spot is worth a shortcut. This time I need healing. The doctor created a shortcut. Healing
The
power.
money do we need to in California to survive? You probably need $5,000. Literally. Hashtag...
All these poor people and almost there. Don't turn
Need a
back now.
bummer. Always doing some shit.
So you said you'll need 5 jobs here to survive.
Yes, sir.
So how much money do you think somebody needs to make a month to survive?
Ooh, probably about
better
15.
Yeah, I rap more time, a rapper.
So you're an entrepreneur and a rapper. Can you give us a little freestyle about how you survive here in California?
I can give you a little freestyle on how I live out here in California. 100 gotta add it up and then stack it up and then get more. I've been through the struggle. I've been through the pain. I've been through some things. Stood in the rain. Feeling that came. The money it came. It was insane. Now them birds in the air on the plane. Do it for the money, for the fame. Drop a whole lot of them ice on my chain. And it's still gang. All of my niggas be strapped with them things. Put a hole in his head like a dolphin. Smoke a whole lot of gas, got me coughing. Play on Chevy off and she told me credit. Get him the pork. I told you that nigga support it. Cause bitch, you're not even important.
That was fighting some bars out there. I don't know if I support the abortion or shooting your brothers, but
Hey, I support that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just straight bars.
Awesome. What do you think about your man?
I am the 9 to 5 hustler.
Now moving in to downtown LA, we're going to see see what they have to say about how hard it is to survive inside of California.
The crazy thing about Skid Row is that it's literally blocks away from Main Street in downtown LA.
Just to show you guys how big of a contrast there is here in downtown LA, you have a Tesla going through right now, a brand new Denali. You have the police over there as well. Yet you have hundreds of people here laid out on the streets of Los Angeles like it's no big deal. And just this street corner alone shows the drastic differences between the rich and the needy here in California.
Whether you are super rich or down on your luck, there's some...
I think that ICE was used mostly to incite terror in my city, instead of actually being a force for removing illegal immigrants. So I was just curious what you thought about that.
When it comes to ICE inciting terror,
Pick your hero or villain.
I mean,
I'm
obviously
not judging.
it's fairly incendiary language. I don't doubt that you believe it. But when you talk about inciting terror, what exactly do you think that they were doing that quote unquote incited terror?
I mean, like, going to people's homes and public spaces, removing like children from schools and like other activities that basically like makes puts the entire community on edge.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. So, if you're in the country illegally, do you agree that you've violated immigration?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe that is grounds to be perhaps?
Yes.
We should give these humans
If you're in your
good
house,
reason to hate.
you've actively broken the law, and I come to get you at your house, is that better than coming to get you at a public place?
I mean, I think it's probably. Also, you can't enter a home without a warrant right away. I feel like even a person is.
I don't think they're actually operating off of better information than just
The battle starts in 5.
But you have a case like, for instance, the young boy.
2, 1.
All the headlines show that
All you need to do is capture the mission
It
area.
was not an accurate
Got it?
representation of what took place. They were
Don't
going after
worry,
his father.
everything is under control.
His father saw ICE
Well,
and ditched him,
except my
ditched the 5-year-old son.
Just to
And
gather
so they took him into custody. And I think his father was when they actually took over the house, and they asked him to keep him there, and they so and the other people there were not cooperating. In another case, for some reason, they went to the house. And oh my gosh, there's an American citizen out of the house.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture
The guy
now.
wasn't cooperating, and he wasn't identifying himself, so then they took him into custody. Most of this is fairly standard police work when it comes to actually enforcing the law. And here's the problem I have. Whenever I hear the statement, what do you say to the people that are living in fear as a result of ICE? I always ask, why are they living in fear? Well, if they're living in fear because they're actively breaking the law, it doesn't shock me that people actively breaking the law are afraid of people who are actively enforcing it. That's kind of the point. Right now, again, to the extent that you can do it as easily as possible, great. But a lot of people resist arrest. A lot of people, you don't know what the other like individual that they're going after. And then when you add these obstructing the carry out your duties, all of that is a recipe for disaster, especially in the world of smartphones. So there's no question, I've said this before. To the extent that we're going to do deportation, I'd like to do a lot of things personally. I'd like to do it but part of what because if they resist arrest, you're going to have to use physical force over their training. If other people don't know what you're there for, and that's showing up or following you around and
Maximum pulse!
The first
You're
question
quite welcome amongst the adversaries.
I think it is. And then Magneto! All shielded up. I think it is. There are some people that don't. They deny the border should exist in the first place. So that's a whole different conversation. But if you accept those two things, that a country has borders, they have a right to enforce it and to enforce immigration policy as a result, then the question becomes, what do you do with the people that violate those laws? And the answer is deportation.
Exists where
now, there's been several times in U.S. history where people have come over and either we didn't have the necessity or means, or just wasn't a big issue to allow people to come over because we didn't have a massive welfare
30
state.
seconds before you attack. Get ready.
But in a relatively short period of time, we've had millions of people
I know
come
that
into
look
the
all
country.
too well, Sheriff.
Now, some of those people are just looking for a better life. Some of those people are running drugs and engaging in human trafficking. Some of those people are terrorists. How do we know who's who? Right? You don't necessarily. It's not like they fill out a waiver before they cross the border illegally. The second thing you got to ask is, even if someone has come over illegally and all they want is a better life, is that unfair to the people that are waiting in line to
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got
I
it?
would argue that it is. And so now the question is how do we deal with the massive amounts of people that come into the country illegally? Because there is a cost associated with it. There's a cost with respect to public services. I'm going down.
Mission area is yours to capture now.
Are there and you don't got to go through a trial. There's people that have this idea that someone is being not afforded due process when they're deported without a trial.
This is real firepower!
When you go back to your dorm you find out that I was working in your dorm. And I'm watching firepower. So you call something and they check your ID, they check mine, and they realize that this is your dorm and it's not mine and I have no legal right to be here. And then imagine campus looks at you and goes, well, sir, I'm sorry, we don't have to stay here until we actually have a trial and get him for trespassing and breaking in. You would not think that justice is always glad to help. You'd be pretty upset, right? So the due process in that portion was to ascertain whether or not I had a legal right to be here.
Judge! Jury! Executioner!
Now, if you want to do the additional step of arresting me, incarcerating me, finding me, convicting me of certain minutes, now I can go through a trial, a jury of my peers, all those different things before I can be convicted, fined, penalized, and everything else. And then eventually, what the process right now is that it's like you're in the country illegally, we found you, you're not going to be quite welcome. Now, there's a lot of things that people are uncomfortable with the way it works in place and the protests have gone on. I'm not asking anyone to be comfortable with mass deportation. It's not a comfortable thing. But by the same token, what are you supposed to do with people who are actively breaking the law in the country? And so the thing that would make this a lot easier, and most people have chosen to self-report, so that's good. The thing that would make this a lot easier if there wasn't the kind of obstruction you're ready again. The other thing I would say is I don't think where there should be. So for instance, when I was in the I had a young woman call me up who was not even my conscriptor. And she said, Charlie, they're trying to run all your teachers, and I wanted to ask you for help. What's the problem? I was brought to this country when I was 2 years old. by my mother. I've lived here my entire life. I'm married to an American citizen. We have 4 kids together. I've never violated the law again, and I just got a notice to deportation. And now my whole family is going to have to leave if we want to stay together. So I worked to try to help her out, to try to make sure that she wouldn't be deported. Why? Because I thought that was a reasonable exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Now, some people will say, okay, well, why don't we just make that the law? Well, but the moment you make it the law that unaccompanied minors or minors coming into the country can stay, now you've incentivized people bringing children into the country illegally. And that creates a very, very perverse incentive that we don't want. So the problem is because this problem has become so big and so massive, we're going to have
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Violent things happen, where potential mistakes happen, all of it. And so what I'm hoping is we can get to a point where, again, we prioritize the people that not only came over illegally, but violated additional laws. And then we have to look at everybody else that may need to leave, but maybe we come up with a better process for them to be able to leave, and that if they want to come into the country, they have an opportunity to get back and do it the legal route.
To be as successful as America has in the last 200 years, we have to accept the immigrant. And, we can continue that conversation into immigration policy. I think a lot of the time when you talk about illegal immigration, that's a vast simplification of the current process, and that a lot of the current policies are deeply
Without ties, I wouldn't know the real power of the life force.
First
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
What makes an American? Like, would you consider me an American, even though I'm not?
Even the ocean at sunrise does not gleam
I don't think you have to be
as
born here to be an American. But I do think that, first of all, I think we need to be honest about what immigration policy was in the United States. First of all, this country was originally established primarily by English settlers. When you actually look at the signers of the Declaration of Independence and the signers of the Constitution, you're getting overwhelming representation from the British Isles and from Protestantism. And so it's important to understand.
You have to stop securing the mission area.
Now, obviously, America has actually had a really good track record of being able to integrate immigrants into the country and to be able to have the American identity. And I think there's a lot of truth in this idea that it's commitment to the Declaration of Independence, to the Constitution, and to the philosophies which are informed those documents. So I believe that someone can be an American and have that kind of American spirit that doesn't necessarily have to have been born here. I also think that there is something to be said for people that have
I got me good. I can use that.
I'm trying to help.
Maybe a push.
Lifetime of shine.
Symbol. The artist formerly known as
that's really something that but the thing I get uncomfortable with is this idea that we just describe America as there's nothing special about America. It's just a bunch of people
I'm back
come
to
over here
shed
and build
some
it.
lights out.
And I don't think that's an accurate representation of what happened. I also think
Get in here, y'all.
Understand that
Lifetime of shine.
immigration suppose that helps.
We must fight another day.
Kind of like a coherent cultural identity.
You need to stop that vehicle
Similar
in its
commitments
tracks.
or similar experiences around social, economic, political, theological, spiritual. It makes no sense to
Just embrace the light.
not as guaranteed the same level. And then if you have people come over that's probably more of an invitation for less social mobility. And this is seen now as being xenophobic or evil. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's just common sense. If someone has a variety of social, political, economic, religious traditions that are vastly different from the place that they're immigrating to, there's probably going to be some conflict associated with that. Now, the way... No.
The American project, why did the original English
An opportunity for
because they were being
combat.
prosecuted by English. And to what you were saying earlier was...
Well, wait a second. Some were and some weren't. Jamestown wasn't that. The Puritans in New England, the Jamestown was that. We can't assign all the immigration to the colonies as that one story.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that
the moon haunts you.
Lifetime of shine. I am barely
doesn't make America. I think that is what makes America. He said that it doesn't make America's not unique in the sense through its immigration because what you said was a bunch of people came here and, or sorry, you said that America was not built for immigrants, so that phrasing is wrong. That would imply that build it. What I'm saying is that is precisely what makes America unique. There are almost
Destroy these hunks as soon as you see them.
You know, as a European, in the sense that
fire mode.
That is, it's not dependent on
all systems go. Still trying to help.
there's a very Eastern European of whole, a Russia.
I am there.
In America, that's
No, let me clarify. What I'm saying is to say that America is just a nation of
Lights out.
Lights
time to shine.
Distract from the fact that there are all these things that are uniquely American. And again, if you look at the philosophy and the principle
Us against the world.
So what I'm saying is that it's not that I'm denying the critical role that beautiful, baby! Philosophical principles that got them from
you're saying not only do they have to have a not only do they have but they also have to have
My time to shine.
you want your people to
So what I said was, again, you're going to have to fairly analyze.
Revenge is best served cold.
I don't. I think you're predisposed to believe, to know what I believe without actually listening to what I believe. What I said was, when you're talking about immigration from one place to another place, when you have similar social, political, economic, theological traditions, it is easier to immigrate and assimilate within the culture you and I are adopting. When you take some of the places with diametrically opposed cultural traditions, it is more difficult. It's not impossible. In fact, you can get some of the most loyal Americans coming from places that are very, very different from your own.
Hi, Nick. I'm the Pawn. That's nice to meet you. Are you a Christian, Nick?
Yes.
One of my favorite Bible verses is Leviticus 19. It says that one of your Bible verses.
Yes.
So, if you agree with the Bible,
Against the world!
I still buy
Let's attack the first thing. So, do you think that countries should have borders?
I would.
If we have borders, which is obviously a political and legal line of demarcation between the citizens of our country and the people of other countries, do you think we should also have an immigration policy which articulates how we secure those borders and what is the legal mechanism to be able to come into our country or to become a citizen?
I believe so, yes. But I believe that we should enforce a safe one, and when that isn't so, I guess, hard for people to be legal citizens. And when even they are, so I guess violently taken away or kept in basically like a modern day concentration camp. So that's kind of what I...
Sure. Well, look, I think you and I could find common ground on what's the best policy to come up with to the extent that we're going to have immigration policy, because the penalty for crossing the border illegally is deportation. And so the question is how do we do that in the most humane way possible?
Exactly.
And I think we could have a robust mandatory way, probably find but I think it would be wrong to say that it's immoral or anti-Christian to say that we have immigration, and if you break the law or you trespass into our country, we do have a right to deport you. So I don't think that in and of itself is immoral or anti-Christian.
Okay.
Really what we need to talk about is, okay, what is the mechanics of deporting people? And we say, like, why does it have to be so violent? Well, so if someone's in the country, and let's just say for argument's sake, we believe that we have a legal right to deport them. The question is, well, if somebody says, golly gee willikers, you caught me. They hold out their hands and we deport them, then I think that, I don't think anybody should beat them or treat them badly. I think it should just be a quick process of, okay, here's your plane ticket, or, here's the border, or whatever it is, but you have to leave now because you're trespassing. But what if somebody violently resists, or somebody resists arrest, or they go somewhere else, or they try to obstruct justice? again, I don't believe in like actively using violence to achieve the objective. But if you're going to get into a conflict with law enforcement, of course law enforcement has to resort to violence in order to arrest you and then deport you. So the choice for violence is not purely the choice of law enforcement. If you resist law enforcement, you're also engaging in either an act of violence or you're increasing the probability that violence will be necessary in order to enforce the law.
Okay. So, well, we're not only talking about illegal immigrants that are being detained and deported, it's also people who are U.S. citizens or people who haven't even immigrated, period, and just people of color. So if the law isn't following what deportation is supposed to actually be, why is it in place even if you do it the legal way?
Oh no, if you deport a U.S. citizen,
yeah,
not only are they legally allowed to come back, but they can actually sue the United States government for damages. Like, I have no problem with that. The thing that I would point out, though, is that we've had upwards of about, I think, 1.6 million deportations. About 1 million of that has been self-deportation, or about 2 million, sorry, 2.6. But 2 million has been self-deportation, which is to say that people have recognized that, okay, rather than being forcefully deported by the United States government, I'm just going to leave and go back to my country. That's ideal, right? That's ideal. And then we have over 600,000 where it's been like, no, you were arrested, detained, and then deported. If you have 2.6 million, and I'm sure you can come up with cases where ICE has made mistakes or they've deported the wrong person, that tends to happen within any sort of law enforcement entity because you're not going to get perfect results. But 2.6 million deportations, and we're talking about, well, what about these individual cases? That's a fairly low percentage of getting it wrong. And so I would say that doesn't mean that it's not anything, right? Again, if she was a U.S. citizen and she was illegally deported, I would encourage her to both, come back to the United States and sue the government for damages as a result of that deportation. I would have no problem with that. But I do think that deportations are legally authorized and should continue.
So when we see ICE just lingering on campuses or like even just in public daily places, what do you believe would give them the right to detain someone even though they have no, I guess, documentation to prove that they're an illegal immigrant, or just based off the way that they look? What's the purpose unless you actually have someone that you're identifying and going in to seek till you could deport them or detain them?
Well, there's a couple ways that they could do it. One has to do with things like, warrants. You can also have exigent circumstances. So obviously, ICE can't deport someone just because they look different.
Right.
Right. There has to be corresponding evidence to suggest that they're in the country illegally. Then they may be allowed to arrest or detain for the purposes of an investigation to determine whether or not you're here legally, and then at that.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
I don't think I've told this story before, so I'm gonna tell you about one of like the worst.
Hello everyone, welcome back to The Social View. In today's video, women share their recent dating experiences and talk about how their dating lives have been unfolding in 2026. From promising new connections and memorable dates to disappointments, unexpected outcomes, and valuable lessons, they offer honest perspectives on the highs and lows of modern
Perfection
dating.
is unattainable.
This video explores
That should not
relationship
stop us
expectations,
from trying to achieve
communication,
it.
chemistry, dating apps, and the challenges of building meaningful connections in today's dating world, offering real
They'll be
insight
coming in
into
30
the experiences
seconds.
women
Stay
are having
strong.
as they navigate relationships in 2026.
Why are there so many creepy first date stories? Honestly, I'm getting a lot lately. But this one just sent a shiver down the spine. So a man met a girl on Bumble. Her name was Ivy. They hit it off great, they were from the same town, and eventually they said, shall we meet up for a first date and go for dinner? So the guy got there early and he went to the hostess and said,
You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
and says there is no distance to Ivy, but we can see you. He's texting Ivy saying for the next reservation. he says, oh, why didn't I do this? And there's a cool story.
Cosmic
He
might
goes,
return.
and a bit. I sense them. I actually want to see this girl, but what situation is this with? Before he answers, Ivy's brother says, I can just drive him. He lives like 2 blocks away. It's not very far. And Jacob's starting to get some red flags. He's thinking, you know what? Charles is good. And then Ivy's brother says, yeah, but it's really difficult for Rex to get to. I just showed you. And Jacob didn't like that line. He said, you know what? I'm going to cancel. Let's wait till Ivy feels better. And then Ivy's brother steps back and goes, but okay, have a nice night. But how he says born again! Then Jacob comes to the restaurant. I am Phoenix! And he's really
Quantum magic. Second chance.
and as he leaves, besides exciting, his
I am ready to put on a show!
Victory!
From Ivy he replies to Ivy saying, I'm really sorry, but you did
We are in this together.
Just a few hours later, he gets an accident. And obviously,
Cosmic might returns.
They contemplate whether to call the police, but all he's getting is when he lives in the apartment.
Quantum magic.
So he speaks to Nicole, and he didn't see anything. He's nearly told and motion lights on. Thanks for the boost. But he can hear heavy stomping like somebody's running down the stairs. That's when he gets a text from an unknown number saying, are you having a good night?
I am at your service.
No one has a good night.
I'm healing.
Jacob gets that number and over the course of 24 hours, he's been bombarded.
I feel better already.
Different text messages, different calls, leaving voicemails of just horrendous insults, just saying horrible things to him. He was obviously more than freaked out. He wants to go to the police with evidence of who this guy could be. So he goes to the restaurant and says to the hostess, hey, it's here 3 nights ago. We walked out, describes him in the situation. And he just says, don't know if you recognise this man or if you had pleaded with him crime that I was here. And the hostess says, actually, say it like he was a man in a prison. I was working outside the restaurant for about an hour. And that's the man that walked up. And Jacob was like, great, do you have any CCTV footage of this man? But unfortunately, because he's wearing a hoodie, you can
Quantum magic.
Jacob still goes to the police and says, this time I'm healing. Actually, technically no crime has been committed.
Down to 30 seconds! I am Phoenix! I am ready to put on a show!
The moon haunts you! Born again!
Nowhere yet! Going to overtime!
The Cosmos heals. And it's a photo printout of him, like in his apartment, and written on it says,
Dynamite! Another epic victory!
Random letters, photos, they turn up to his house, random knocks in the middle of the night, which caused Jacob to move. Sorry, I'm moving on. Somebody was trying to grab my phone. Jacob goes to the police and they don't do anything. They never help him. So Jacob has to move. Comes off LinkedIn, comes off every social media.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Be me, Henry, 28, sysadmin for a mid-sized company. My life is pretty standard. Work from home a few days a week.
I will bring peace
go to the
this
office,
universe,
fix
no matter
things
the
people
cost.
break, go home, play video games, hang out with friends. We have a solid friend group, maybe 15, 20 of us. A mix of guys and girls who've known each other for years. Some since high school, others from college or work. The central hub for all our communication is a Discord server. It's our digital clubhouse.
I may be powered
We have
by
channels for
chaos,
gaming,
but
for
I'm trying to
memes,
bring a
for
bit
serious
of order
discussions,
to the
for
universe.
planning meetups. It's always been a chill place. Keyword.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Sometime last year, one of the girls in the group invited her friend Lori
The
to join
battle
the
we are
server.
about to face
At
is
first, she
fraught
seemed
with
normal
danger,
enough, quiet,
Be
mostly
ready.
hung out in the general
If
chat,
I survive
posted a
what
few
Falcon
memes.
X did to me,
But then
I
we
can
started to see
survive
her true
anything.
colors emerge.
I have a
Slowly,
spell
like
that
a
could
creepy
remove
vine,
the
her
trauma you
specific brand of
experienced from
social
your
justice
mind.
activism started to choke every conversation.
starts in
It wasn't
5,
about equality.
4,
It was about a very
3,
specific
2,
one-sided world
1.
where men were the source
All you
of
need to
all
do is capture
problems,
the mission
women
area.
were the perpetual
Got it?
victims, even when they were clearly being the aggressors. The first major red flag was a conversation about online dating. One of the guys, a genuinely good dude but on the shorter side, was venting about his struggles with Tinder. Posted a screenshot of a girl's bio and just said, 6'2", or don't bother swiping. Seriously. He wasn't even being that bitter, more just a bastard. Man, the market is rough, was all he said. The chat was sympathetic. Yeah, man. Don't worry about it. Then Lori descended. A wall of text appeared. It was a lecture. A full-blown seminar on why women are not only entitled to have preferences, but why it's a completely valid and non-negotiable standard. She went on about how it's a biological imperative for women to seek out taller, stronger men for protection. How a man's height is a proxy for his ability to provide and secure. She claimed that any man who claims was revealing his own insecurity or fragility. It wasn't a preference to her. It was a woman's fundamental right to filter out men she deemed physically. A few of us tried to gently push back. Arthur, my closest friend in the group, pointed out the double standard. He asked, so if a guy put must be under 120 LPS in his bio, that would be okay too, right? It's just a preference. The channel went quiet for a moment. You could practically hear her typing furiously. What followed was an even bigger wall of text. She called Arthur's comparison disgusting and misogynist. She explained in painstaking detail how a woman's aim is potentially tied to societal pressure and unrealistic beauty standards imposed by the patriarchy. A man judging a woman on her height was an act of oppressive violence. A woman judging a man on his height was an act of empowered self-selection. See the difference? We didn't. But arguing with her was like playing chess with a pigeon. It would just knock over the pieces, crap on the board, and strut around like a kid. So we let it go. But a seed was planted. After that, we started noticing it everywhere. Her hypocrisy was a constant background radiation in the server. I remember another time, one of the guys in the group was running a tough time. He was working insane hours, dealing with a sick family member, and was generally feeling burned out and depressed. He posted in the serious discussion chat, just looking for some support. People were being great, offering encouragement, telling him to hang in there. Then Lori showed up. Her response was not one of empathy. She told him that while his feelings were technically valid, he needed to recognize his own privilege. She wrote that men rarely have to deal with the kind of systemic emotional labor and societal invalidation that women face daily, that his brand was a product of the very hustle that the patriarchy created to benefit men. In essence, his problem was a man-made problem, so he had no right to complain about it to women who suffer from oppression. She completely dismissed his change and turned it into a talking point for her own agenda. It was after that incident that Arthur, myself, and a few of the other guys decided to make a private chat. We called it the Gents Lounge. It was our sanctuary. The place where we could talk freely without every single word scrutinized through Lori's ideological lens. It became the place where we could be pressed after all the tirades. Screenshots of the most ridiculous statements were posted there daily, followed by a chorus of, "I can't believe she actually said that." It wasn't a place for hate, it was a place for sanity. It was validation that we weren't the crazy ones. The main server, meanwhile, was becoming more and more intense. People started self-censoring. Jokes were no longer posted for fear of being labeled problematic. Lori had become the unofficial off-police of the server, and the fun was slowly dwindling. She would constantly talk about toxic masculinity. Anything one did, if you were quiet or stealthy, stereotypes. If you were loud or confident, you were arrogant, too much space. If you offered a solution to a problem someone had, you were mansplaining. If you didn't offer a solution, you were demonstrating apathy and male privilege. There was no winning. It was a constant stream of accusations and tests that we all faced. Arthur was the only one who still had the ability to challenge herself. He was always calm. Her response was always the same. Expensive, accusing of being part of the problem. He never took the bait, which seemed to make her even angrier. The tension had been waiting for months. It felt like the server was about to end, and we were all just waiting for a spark. The spark came on Saturday night 2 weeks ago. The server was pretty quiet. Most people were out or busy. Then a notification popped up in the general chat. It was from Lori. She had posted a picture of herself. It was a very calculated selfie. The angle was high, the lighting was perfect. There was definitely a filter smoothing things out. She had that faux coy expression on her face. Underneath the picture, she wrote, "Just feeling curious tonight, LOL. Let's do a little social experiment. Rate me on a scale of 1 to 10. I want to see male objectification. The chat was dead. Everyone knew this was a trap, a massive, glaringly obvious trap. If you gave her a high score, like a 9, she'd get the validation she was clearly fishing for, and then probably lecture you on putting her on a pedestal. If you gave her a low score, you were a hateful, bitter incel who punishes women for exceeding possible beauty standards. If you refused to participate, you were a coward who couldn't handle a strong man's. It was a masterclass in manipulation. A situation designed so that she could claim victory no matter the outcome. In the main chat, 1 or 2 guys who always tried to keep the peace gave some non-committal, safe answers. Looking great, Lori. Definitely a 10 in personality. They were transparent.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
I've watched entire realities consumed by chaos. Don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Obvious. You hate me because your version of me almost decimated the mutant population.
And there are more to learn at the bottom of my boot.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
I'll do what's needed to win this, even if it does mean taking out former allies.
Another
incoming
foe.
You are restored.
Render me assistance.
Chaos control.
A disappearing colors.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
That's better. Don't mind me.
Target neutralized. Shame it had to end this way.
Null's dark touch cannot be
I have many faces. This deserves your attention.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Team player. Feeling stronger already.
Double KO.
Maximize the middle rat shows her true colors.
That's 3.
Depending on us to deliver this totem safely. Got my eye on someone welcome guests.
You're not going anywhere.
Check your 6.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Your goddess is suffering. I outnumber you.
Us against the world.
I'm gone. I won't make the same. Be right back.
Get that vehicle moving again.
You might want to look over here. Your goddess is suffering.
Knew I saw trouble. That should make a difference.
I outnumber you. I won't make now a disappearing act. I'm feeling stronger already. A disappearing act.
If we don't deliver this totem, Wakanda's in grave danger.
Extermination!
We need to cleanse fast now. I suppose that helped. Reborn, goodbye. For now, of course.
Knew I saw trouble.
That's better.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
I'm gone. Oh, just another soldier after all. The more the merrier. My fate now, a disappearing act.
Somewhat
Suffering. Bring on the chaos! Come behind me! Look behind you.
Assemble! Extermination!
I'm everywhere. I won't make you right there.
Only 60 seconds left.
You're not going anywhere.
Against the world! Down to 30 seconds. The final 10 seconds. No winner yet. Going to overtime.
Amazing Spider-Man! Extermination! I'm opening a portal. A shortcut through space. Assemble! Needed a little boost. Thanks. That's supposed to hurt.
Us against the... Well, you can't expect to win them all.
I'd like to talk to you about sacrifice and then again about imitation. I'm going to start with imitation. So, the psychologist
heroes
that
can
I
make
know
all
best,
the difference.
who is most conversant with the ideas that you put forward, is Jean Piaget. And Piaget prioritized imitation as much as Girard. But Piaget's view didn't concentrate so much on the violent aspect.
No
He didn't concentrate so much on how imitation would go wrong.
The way I believe it was sort of this somewhat optimistic, just positive societies progressing through imitation.
Yeah, well, he wasn't concerned precisely, I would say, with notions of progress from an economic perspective.
What it takes to protect mine.
Piaget's notion was that
you are
it's very much like Girard's, is that the way that we organize ourselves socially and psychologically is through imitation. And so Piaget concentrated, for example, on games. And so his counter to Girard, but without invalidating Girard's point, by the way, is that...
But he was before Girard, right?
Yes, he was. Yes, definitely.
Battle starts in 5.
And so
4,
Piaget's
3,
point was that
2,
we actually
1.
organize ourselves into social hierarchies with imitation.
Yes.
We when children, for example, when they're 3 or 4. So, for example, you can't do this till you're 3.
Yes.
This is how it works developmentally. If a little boy asks a little girl to play house, she has to agree. And then what they do is they reciprocally imitate one another in relationship to a goal. Okay?
Yes.
Now, so the goal in that situation is to abstract and model the domestic environment. But then there's a higher order principle that regulates that, which is that in order for it to be play, both of them have to be voluntarily in accordance with the aim, and they have to be learning dynamically.
Yes.
Okay, so now your point was that, okay, so now imagine a world where there's an indefinite number of these imitation predicated games, because there is an indefinite number of them. Now, what I think happened in the religious framework, the Christian framework, that multitude of games, each of which is potentially a little Tower of Babel, is organized underneath a higher order principle. Now, you said Gerard's answer was you imply aim up, but you also implied go back to church. Now see, let me just finish one thought. So, imagine that there are metagames under which imitative games could be organized. One metagame would be power. Another metagame might be hedonistic self-gratification. The Christian metagame is voluntary self-sacrifice. Right? That's a radical reshifting of the metagame territory. And I think it is irreplaceable. And I think it has to be embodied and not propositionalized. So the pagan world, the Roman world, the Greek world, they were essentially predicated on power and heat. Right? If I could, then I had a right to. And if I could impose force on you, then I was the better man. And that was inverted in Christianity. But it was inverted in a way I think that your point seems to be that the imitative capacity is dreadfully wrong if the games degenerate into envious status. And the other point, I think, was that they will degenerate into envious status competitions unless they're oriented towards something transcendent. So then the question would be, what would that transcendent orientation be?
Well, let me see. There's many different threads here, but I would say Gerard would reference people like Piaget. He said, you know, they underestimated imitation massively. They whitewash it. It's, you know, if you ignore this all-important runaway violence dimension and things like this.
Yeah, well, Piaget was not a psychopathologist. He was a study of normative development.
Yeah. And then I think Gerard's intuition was much more that, in some sense, the so-called normal case is the less important one. It's the extreme case. It's where it's the madness of crowds. You know, that's an extremely important case.
Fair enough.
It's not, and you know, and
Piaget also wasn't an abnormal
Piaget would have been like Malcolm
psychologist.
Gladwell in the wisdom of crowds. The crowds are wise because they imitate each other, and this is how a lot of stuff works.
Right, but he did bind it by the necessity of voluntary play. Right, that's an important distinction.
Sure. There are all these ways, but still within some structure. But you could always say this is a basic difference between enlightenment rationalism and biblical revelation. Is in the Bible, the crowd is always wrong. The crowd is always crazy. It is mad. You know, the Tower of Babel is part. It's the unanimity.
The Israelites.
It's the unanimity. It's and enlightenment rationality. Democracy is good. The more people vote for something, the more rational it is. But at some point, you get 99.99% of people vote for something when you're in North Korea. And so, you know, it's this very important question. When do you go from wisdom of crowds to the madness of crowds? And I think
that's a very important question.
The Girardian, and I would say Christian intuition is that it happens much sooner and in a much more representative way than you have to than you think, and that, you know.
Where there is evil in this universe,
I will
and so,
be
and
there
so,
to
so that's sort of one dimension. I don't know if I would anchor as much on sacrifice though as the key feature. And then this is one of the places where Gerard argued that it's Christianity was, in Gerard's telling, is anti-sacrificial. It is a move away from sacrifice. And all these theories about the substitutionary atonement of Christ's death. But even if we go with a traditional theological
movement away from the sacrifice of others?
Christ, it is Christ's death is supposed to be the last one. Christ made the sacrifice, so we do not have to make it. And then, yeah, you can say it is a sacrifice of others versus the sacrifice of self. You could say that, but you could say the way Gerard would put the stress would be that you refuse. It's not that there was some virtue in Christ sacrificing himself. It's not like some sort of silly hero saying, please let the lions come and eat me up, or something like that. Giving some sort of dramatic announcement. It says Christ at Gethsemane. It's still praying, please let this cup be taken away from me. It's not, this is a wonderful, necessary thing to do at all. It's quite the opposite. But you could say it is the refusal to sacrifice others that characterizes Christ.
Well, definitely that.
And we're not willing to resort to violence. You're not willing to you aren't willing to call down all the angels from heaven to stop the crucifixion. And so it's a refusal to sacrifice others. But maybe in some contexts you have to lay down your life for your friends. There are things like that happen, but I think it's much more the anti-sacrificial end. We have this already in a number of the old.
By the eye of Agamotto!
God desires mercy and not sacrifice. And then these are some in a way you can think of the Old Testament law as a sacrificial set of laws. Centered on the temple, this sort of elaborate set of sacrifices, and then in some sense Christ replaces it with love the Lord your God with your heart and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And then you could say, and then he says it's not getting rid of the Old Testament law.
Yeah.
But if you do those two things, you don't need any of the Old Testament law. You can even eat bacon for pork.
Right.
And this was a really, really bad thing to do under the Old Testament law.
So let's delve into this. I want to make this psychological and sociological as well as theological. So it strikes me that one of the radical characteristics of human beings.
What are you aiming at?
Another radical characteristic is the willingness and ability to make sacrifices. So let me define that, and then we can see how it goes straight. So the more immature you are, the more your attention and behavior is under the dominion of biological systems that have narrow short-term gratification as their focus. Rage, hunger, temperature regulation. A 2-year-old is a collection of unruly, competing, short-term motivations. It takes 18 years for the cortex to develop. And you can think of the cortex as an inhibitory structure, so that's kind of a Freudian model, or you can think about it as an integrated structure, and that's a better model. Part of Piaget's model is useful in that regard because we integrate within the confines of imitative games. But there's more to it than that. So as you become more mature, this kind of a definition of maturity, you focus more on the tomorrow and next month and next year, so your temporal span of apprehension increases, and you regulate your behavior in the present in relationship to the future. That's a sacrificial move because you're sacrificing immediate gratification for the stability of the future.
The right heroes could
As a
make
spouse,
all the
a parent,
difference.
or a leader, people count on you. But if you're constantly tired, unfocused, and just not feeling like yourself, how can you show up the way they need you to? That's where Merrick Health comes in. Merrick is a premier health optimization platform that uses comprehensive lab work, not guesswork, to uncover what's really going on in your body. Hormones, thyroid inflammation, nutrient levels, the markers that matter. Their expert clinical teams build a personalized, research-backed plan just for you, whether it's lifestyle changes, supplements, or prescription treatments. When you know what's going on inside, you can lead with clarity, show up with energy, and stay sharp for your family, your team, and yourself. Head over to merrickhealth.com and use code Peterson for 10% off to join their guided optimization program with your personal medical team. That's merrickhealth.com, code Peterson. Stop guessing, start leading, and start with Merrick Health.
And
then there's another side. Let me push back on just that description. Is it a sacrificial move or is it a rational move? Because there's some way in which
I think it's both. It's both. It's irrational once you can see the future.
Right. But it's sort of very it's to the extent it's rational. It may not be that sacrificial. You save money in order to buy a house.
But I don't imagine. But I don't think you believe that people can regulate that with mere rationality. Like it has to be deeper. I would say part of that regulation, short-term impulse that's so limbically driven, mere rationality is the trick. And the rationality itself has to be encapsulated within a concept of what actually constitutes rationality. So, like I could ask you, what's worth sacrificing your short-term pleasure for? Now, the pleasure speaks for itself, right? There has to be something that you're giving that up for when you work, for example, that you regard as worthwhile. And it isn't also clear to me that that's a purely rational move. Now, there's one more sacrificial element. Like, as you mature, it becomes less and less about what the motivated subcomponents of you want now, and more about how you find harmony and cooperation and cooperation in social groups. For example, one of the things children have to learn between 2 and 3 to be social is to take turns. And that's also a sacrifice because the default is, it's always my turn. That's what it is like for non-social animals, for example.
This is where I want to push back a little bit.
Push away, man.
Where I don't think you tell a 2 or 3-year-old this in the language of sacrifice. And
no, you probably acted out more.
If you don't take turns, other people something bad happens, and you won't have friends, and
or the other kids tell the kids.
Yeah, there's some very pretty fast immediate consequences.
Yeah.
And again, I wouldn't say it's rational, but it is it's sort of you learn evidence-based to do these things. And then the place where I am uncomfortable with using sort of language of sacrifice is that the evidence-based, non-rational part of it, if that's all we have left, I wonder whether those are the sacrifices that we should make. For example, I'm going to give lots of examples, but there's always a question about what should be done about academia. All the conservative academics are being expelled. It's so hard to do this
right here.
And there's sort of a version of a debate I've had with a lot of right of center people over the last 20 years, where it's, well, we need to just train more people with PhDs, and then you have to keep trying to sneak into the system, have to somehow break in. And there's sort of a lot of reasons to think it's hard to do or might not work. But the way I push back on it is, it strikes me as an irrational kind of sacrifice. And so from the point of view of a young person who's going to be a right-wing academic with a PhD and will be completely unemployable, that's not a rational sacrifice they made. It's a very foolish choice that perhaps this language of sacrifice confuse things, and then their non-sacrificial move, is roughly like what you yourself did with, the University of Toronto, wherever you were, where it's at some point I am not putting up with these silly sacrifices they're making me make in academia. I'm not sacrificing my mind, or I'm not playing by all their silly rules. And I think that was the correct thing to do. But again, I would describe it as the anti-sacrificial move. The sacrificial move would be, you have a tenured position there, and you might be unhappy about it, but for the greater good, you have to stay there.
Okay, so there were things I wasn't willing to sacrifice to stay there. There's no doubt about that. But I would also say that...
And I think those were irrational things that you should not have sacrificed. And I think you made totally the right decision. But I would describe it as, the way I would describe it, maybe this just shows how the language of sacrifice is confusing, but I would describe it as you refused to make the sacrifices that were demanded of you because they were silly, irrational, crazy.
In relation to what? See, that's the issue, because I think that's
in relation to things that, again, maybe can't be fully rationally defined, but in relation to the alternatives you could do, in relation to, even something as stupid as what you found hedonically enjoyable. Like, did you find it enjoyable sitting on silly faculty committees as a tenured professor, or did you find it boring? And it wasn't fun. The boarding wasn't fun, and it's not the only reason to leave. Maybe it's not a sufficient reason, but from my perspective, it's a good partial reason. And there were probably a lot of things like this that added up.
I was unwilling to sacrifice my tongue. So what I sacrificed was my job and my clinical career so I could keep my tongue. But there's a Christian element to that too, because the Christian insistence is that truth-oriented word establishes the order that's good. And so, but I don't think we can escape the sacrificial language, because I had to get on my job. Well, I had three, because I had a private business.
But again, I don't want to make this too aggrandizing to you, but I think what you're doing is far better, far more important. Now,
I'm certainly not unhappy.
So if you sacrificed your job and you were completely unemployable and had no economic prospects, you could describe it as sacrificing your job so you could express yourself, but if nobody's listening to you, that might be a pretty irrational thing to do. Again, it's rational for you to focus on reaching a much larger audience, for you to do all these things, and I think those were good decisions. You didn't let let's say, demoralizing left-wing people in academia get to you. You didn't let their value system control you. Their value system is that there's nothing more important than academia. This is the world that really matters. This is where you have to fight the battles. You didn't let that morality control. So I would describe it as Christian or maybe Nietzschean, but anti-sacrificial, like you did. In a very good way.
Yeah, well, I understand. I understand what you're saying.
But then the meta layer would be, this is where maybe just the language of sacrifice is often more confusing than ever.
Well, I think that also, to some degree, it likely stems from your saturation in the Girardian view, because you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're likely, and especially given what you said about Christ's sacrifice making further sacrifices in some ways unnecessary, your view is going to be to concentrate, it seems to me, on the more pathological end of the sacrificial process. And, like, I think that the terminology can be confusing, because I would say what I gained was far greater than what I lost. Now, that doesn't mean that what I lost was nothing, because it wasn't nothing, and it took a fair bit of reconstruction to make things work. And so you could say, well, if you gain more than you lose, is that truly a sacrifice? Now, the biblical stories are replete with paradoxes like that, because the most intense one, obviously, is what happens with Abraham and Isaac, because God calls on Abraham to sacrifice his son, and Abraham is willing...
Or villain, I'm not judging.
Johnny Depp vindicated again? Johnny Depp? Wait, what?
Okay, you ready? Are we going to mention the Johnny Depp thing?
Sure. What part of it?
He was driven crazy by the idea that Amber might be sleeping with you.
But it does help.
Am I meant to comment? Yeah. It's because we did a movie together. It was called London Fields. He was also doing the movie. I think he was pretty driven crazy by jealousy, I suppose.
You suppose?
No, I don't suppose. I do. No. Yeah.
But I will gladly show
An
it to
entanglement?
his
What is the word?
You tell me.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
Well, I know what an
So he was right.
Mr. Depp says, quote, your jealousy is so tragic.
I heard him say that, yes.
You were the jealous one in this relationship, weren't you, Miss Heard? But now you've twisted it to say it was Mr. Depp that's the jealous one.
Johnny's always been very jealous when I worked, when I did anything, friends. Yes, he's always been very jealous.
Did you ever notice anyone visiting Amber Heard at night while Mr. Depp was away? During the time that I was living there?
3,
On how many
2,
occasions? I wouldn't even be able to ask. Is it more than
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
Yes.
Got
Is
it?
it more than 30? Yes. Is it more than 50? Yes.
He was right because he was like, this girl is trying to fuck my girlfriend or my wife. I know it's happening. And then it turns out that he was right.
Entanglement is.
What does it mean? Is it bad?
I think it means a sort of relatively short-lived liaison or series.
We were close for a long time, and then when they were going through the divorce, we were entangled. But she was also entangled with other people. There you go.
Oh my God. Wow. Basically, Johnny was right about everything. Again, that voice in the back of your mind has been fine-tuned for millions of years to identify patterns and to perceive things that are not immediately evident. Entangle, is that what kids call it nowadays? Women invent new euphemisms for being whores every single year. Entanglement is one of the new ones.
And what happened? Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with Congress. That's what I said. An entanglement? I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broke.
I'm an easy target.
You're not going anywhere.
In many ways, his story shaped how we think of his kind. The media vilified him. The authorities hunted him. And they were all extremely scared. Mitnick's story is about the advent of modern IT. About a kid who always wanted to be a magician. Most of all, it's Catch Me If You Can, but with
Danger
computers.
at your rear. That's better.
I was the most wanted hacker in the world. You get that run and rush.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
I mean, yeah, back then there must have been so many flaws on the insane that.
You like that? You're not going anywhere. Your powers are mine!
Nah, a disappearing.
Silhouettes! This is chaos.
Kevin loves watching magic tricks.
Goodbye.
Audience is fascinated. Magic is about control. Magicians pull your attention where they want it, make you see what they want you to see. They take advantage of what you assume is true. At a magic show, people enjoy being fooled. Not so much in the real world, but it's equally easy. It's even easier to perform
Nowhere yet. Go overtime.
it's a literal asset. In everyday life, people tend to be helpful, trusting. They want to do the right
My
thing.
fate isn't now.
One
A
can use that.
disappearing.
Control them. Make them do things they shouldn't. Or spill secrets they should have kept to themselves. This is called social engineering. And soon, young Kevin gets really, really good.
That's better.
Damage sustained.
You not only have
Need
to think about
assistance.
technology, you have to think about the people that use the technology. Because it's only needs to happen.
Chat. Funny story. Way back in the day, you can try the name on Xbox Live, and I was going to do it with all
My
friends.
work here is enough.
I would call
A
it support, and
disappearing.
I get bullied and thrown rocks at school, and they would give me a name change. I'm not kidding. It's a real shit. I swear, Jack, I would change my own name
the name of my friends, and everybody. I would just call up, start crying on the phone, boom, I got an MJ.
No winner yet. Going to overtime.
Thursday riding the bus. Each ride is 25 cents plus another 10 cents to transfer. It adds up. So Kevin comes up with a plan. He notices drivers carrying booklets of blank tickets. When they sell a ticket, they punch it with a special tool. Kevin needs both. So he sits near the driver and spins a story about a school project. Something about punching interesting shapes into cardboard. The
I've
driver
watched entire realities consumed by chaos. I won't let that happen again.
Ah, thanks, dude.
Supergirl has been nothing
30
short of a
seconds before you
disaster for
attack.
James Gunn
Get
and
ready.
Peter Safran, the DCU, and the future of superhero movies as a whole.
Gotta
It
be
has now
honest,
set
not so
female-led
crazy about
back
symbiotes
in
now that I've visited
and
Clintar.
Hollywood seems determined to learn absolutely nothing from any of this. There's a lot that I want to get into today, but let me ask you something.
One where they all
Have
tried
you
to
ever
eat
heard
me?
of the
Yeah,
Lego?
yeah,
I
I have.
promise that this will tie into Supergirl. Just let me explain, okay? See, in 2011,
The battle starts in
90% of
5,
Lego users
4,
worldwide were exclusively
3,
boys.
2,
When Lego wasn't
1.
doing well financially, they firmly
All you need to
pushed
do
their
is capture the
direction
mission area.
to cater
Got it?
mostly to their young boy demographic.
Oh, it can be
Doing
anyone.
this, Lego was
But I
able to
choose
pull
to be
themselves
Loki.
out of financial ruin, and now you have plenty of cross media for Lego because the brand is healthy.
Hello.
Games like Lego
Goddess
Batman,
is suffering.
movies, the Lego Movie, and much more. Lego understood that Hollywood has been unable to and during this time, Lego Lego Friends has been spin-off Living When the boy played with Lego, the boy would not try to impose his beliefs, identity, or will upon the characters that he was playing with. Instead, the boys would embody the characters. For example, a Lego Batman or a Lego Superman. The boys didn't study Lego superheroes. They weren't themselves anymore. They were now Batman and Superman as the character. They then wanted to learn anything there was about being Superman and Batman. Throughout the study, no matter what the character used by the boys. However, on the flip side, when the girls played with those exact same toys, the girls did something that was very different. The girls would actually impose their beliefs and opinions upon the Lego characters that they were playing with. Batman was not Batman. Batman was now the little girls wearing a Batman suit. Superman as well was not a chiseled superhero guy from Krypton, but to them, Superman was pretty much a Supergirl. See, the little girls of the study would force Batman and Superman to make they would force Batman to do things he would never do. The things that they wanted to do, like what the study eventually came to realize that when it was all said and done, the boys who played with Lego would openly embrace the characters that they played with, and they would want to learn more about who these characters were. It would, in a sense, change them to fit their own ideology. However, the little girls did the exact opposite. Everything had to be the way that they wanted it to be. Batman goes on cheating, Superman wearing high heels. These characters would lose their identity once they were in the hands of these female test subjects, if you will. What this ultimately meant was that it was impossible to make the little girls think the way that the boys did, which is why Lego realized with this critical study they could not cater to their little boy demographics.
Us against the world!
Girls did Lego brand would be torn into ruin. Their profits would be down. The future of that brand would be an absolute disaster. Because
Armed and dangerous!
Very different audiences. It was a lesson in something that even at a child level, the children not all, but enough to clearly cause them that they were in that moment, that they could not cater to that sacrifice the overwhelming support structure that was being currently catering to males instead was making fun. So Supergirl as a movie, as a character, as an icon, the exact embodiment of the theory that the character character in this movie is now showing the fallout of the censorship that Hollywood has done to not only but the broader franchises being ruined by this feature approach has definitely included something that whether the audience is little boys, girls, adults, and even the Lego theory will always be present to some capacity. And this is why every is a complete but of this Supergirl doesn't work because she is ultimately a little bit
no winner yet. Going to overtime.
That their work is this is why Supergirl is seen to be on these days despite all it's because the female users would not be again Supergirl because she can't be Supergirl in their eyes. She has to be super whoever is currently looking at or trying to embody the character in a female mindset. Now you take this idea of Supergirl, right? Doing so horrible. You can extrapolate it outwards to every other known franchise in history that is suffering a series. Star Wars is ruined. Instead of making two distinct versions of Star Wars, one where its integrity is kept intact for the male audience how they like it, and making a spin-off version for the girls, Disney, like Lego, decided not to do that. And Kathleen Kennedy, who used to run Star Wars, effectively applied the Lego.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
If you are single, living in this economy, you need to give yourself a break.
I just saw a video of a woman. Imagine buying a bag of oranges for the household.
This country hates single people. So they're making it to where you cannot survive this economy by yourself.
30 seconds before you
As
attack.
a single woman, I'm getting a little worried when I get out there. Please.
Is the cost of living quietly changing the dating market? That's the question fueling a wave of viral videos from single women who say surviving today's economy feels harder than ever. Between skyrocketing rent, grocery bills, car payments, and everyday expenses, many creators admit that living alone is becoming financially exhausting. At the same time, other women say they are struggling to even meet eligible single men, joking that all the good ones have disappeared into their apartments, choosing to take out streaming shows and peace over dating. The conversation quickly moves beyond romance. Some argue that modern independence comes with a much higher price than people expected, while others believe the economy is pushing more people to rethink relationships, not because they need love, but because sharing life's expenses has become increasingly practical. As these perspectives collide online, many are asking whether today's dating struggles are really about relationships at all, or simply about the realities of modern life.
Women commenting saying that they have been able to save so much money since being single. And that's why I accept the argument that it's unfair to expect a man to provide more than 50% because while both men and women right now, nothing can change the fact that it's always going to be a woman who gets a period and not a man. It's more often than not a woman who gets sexualized and harassed in this place. It's always going to be women paying tax. There's 62 million men who sign up for that rape tax. 90% of violent acts committed by men, and it'll be these faux feminist men fighting for women's equality by making them rather than oh, it's a bit of a party comparing men to all these rapists and violent criminals, but the energy behind all of it every single time is exploitation and entitlement, and the degree to which that gets exercised varies on a scale from mild to extreme, and asking women to pay for you in a 50-50 relationship and sacrifice all the earnings and savings that she could be making for herself is a form of enslavement and exploitation. You would assume that absolutely everything into
so many objects.
not a single woman on this planet would ever be
You're a landlord and had a mortgage your tenants, well, would you let them stay there in your rental property that you have to pay for? Would you let
let the women free and absorb the cost yourself or charge them because they are working adults.
Women in 2026 are
I am
literally
born anew.
carrying everything, whilst men are out here living in a princess era. Women aren't just strong, they're exhausted. They're splitting the bills, carrying all the emotional weight, managing the kids, planning birthdays, remembering all the appointments while still working full time. Being told of asking for too much.
I feel better already.
Meanwhile, men wanting
Us against the world!
They want a submission, but don't provide any security. Slaves who don't provide leadership and evacuation, but they don't provide any effort. This isn't about pleasing men, it's about calling out and balance. When a woman is paying half the bill and carrying most of the weight, that's not intelligence, that's burnout. And the saddest part of that is she'll keep going. She'll keep sacrificing. She'll keep holding it all together till one day she realizes that she doesn't need a partner. She needs relief. And once she stops begging to be supported, she stops
The
being
universe has a
available.
absolutely wrong. Eventually you'll learn what it means to be
The
undesirable.
Collector got greedy. Time to restore the cosmic balance.
Let me tell you this secret. 3H
You're halfway
women
there.
are
Keep
desperate need a man. The first age, late 20s, a man from 27 to 30s. Some women are not seriously about men
Only 60 seconds left.
because they're going to
Almost
get
there.
married,
Don't turn back now. It's the
they have children, and that is always a good focus.
I feel better already.
The second age is when a man is mentally considered.
Vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
If they get children, because fertility doesn't age. Other emotions like stability, after period.
The Collector got greedy. Time to restore the cosmic balance.
The third age is after divorce or major changes. Some women want emotional companionship, and men, and sometimes they want to have some fresh after divorce. That's why they're desperate.
Together.
But remember, not all women they are desperate for divorce. Some are women when they get on those ages, late 20s, mid-30s, after divorce or major changes. Let me
I feel better already.
you know a woman need a man to survive. Or they are desperate, want a man. Ask her all the time, when are you marrying me?
A new threat rises from
I know
the
you see
waves.
guys, I'm back again. Don't forget to follow me. My name is Explorer.
I am ready to put on a show.
Women are so used to being the center
there
of men's
you are.
universe
No
that
escaping
when they are
us
being
now.
rejected, they are lost. An existential crisis.
This is Professor Scott Galloway, and he's always talking about the crisis of young men today. He also talks about how young women are starting to be very generous economically while young men are falling behind. Women are more likely to go to college than men. Men are more likely to live with their parents than their female counterparts. Single women are now buying their homes. Because he says that women do not want to believe us if they want to date our equal or someone above us. While I think he's actually right about this, I think there's a huge missing piece of this conversation.
Born again!
And that missing piece is domestic labor. Most men do not feel as often as women are generally useless around the house. If you talk to married women, they report that their husbands feel like an additional kid to them. My point is that
Let the devil
mentioning that maybe women would like it if you would catch up to us domestically. I think that most men would improve their dating prospects if they took a cooking class and learned to mop. I know many successful women who would be fine dating a man who made less money than her if he could cook her dinner. The reality today is that if you're a straight woman in a relationship, you probably do the majority of the cooking and the majority of the cleaning. So if you also make way more money than your husband, maybe you could see how women don't want that deal. Men are not making as much money, but maybe you should focus on becoming an equal partner in other ways. I just feel like this is a major part of the conversation that no man is doing.
What I see is women being entitled, saying a man must pay everything while she does whatever she feels like with her money. No, you're an ally. You pay your own bills and expenses. I feel better
If you are living in this economy, doing everything for
I am at your service. The cosmos heals you.
privilege to get on a plane. Plane tickets are so like, if you are a single mom, doing it by yourself, like, everybody be patting themselves on the back right now because, wow. And
I am born
I don't
anew.
see it changing for the foreseeable future, which is also extremely concerning. So, if you put groceries in your refrigerator,
Cosmic might returns.
if you pay your car bill, you pay your rent, if you doing all that by yourself, like, you need to give yourself some
Don't let
grace
anything
and
stand in your way.
incredibly proud of yourself because it's incredibly as a single living in America.
How do they afford it? They aren't accustomed to spending other people's money. They don't impulse buy. They live within their means. It's not rocket science. It's basic math.
Someone tell me how a single person is faced right now. Because
I am ready to put on a show.
Everyone keeps saying it's cheaper to
Feel better already.
That's not the case. If you're not possible, you have to pay all of that on your own. So let's talk about rent. So you're talking to depending on where you live. These are averages, okay? Then you've also got things like council tax, you've got 180, 120,
Only 60
before you're paying your TV license, you are paying 100%. Before you even start living, you're looking at £1,300.
Born again!
Viewers around? I think the thing is people say, well, go and get a better job, go and get a higher paid job, go and learn a skill. Yeah, you can do all that.
Let the devil!
You shouldn't have to do. If you understand, if you're working full time, if you're doing 35 hour plus a week, you shouldn't need to go and get a second job. You shouldn't need to get a side hustle, but people are, and that's the only way they're getting by. All these credit, it just doesn't add up. Cost of living versus the average salary or the minimum wage salary in the UK, it doesn't match. No matter what, you're always going to be worse off. Now these aren't luxuries, these are the basics that you're paying for. Your car insurance, you're paying for your gas, your electric, all of that. And then you're working for nothing. It's not living, it's...
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
So he's having a little bit of a melty, is that right?
I'm dying.
He's dying.
Monterey, Becerra 28, Steyer 26.
He's dying.
Hilton 23, first decent result for Steyer. Oliver Mott getting cooked. Yeah, I mean, look at the fucking top line.
Yeah.
Look at the goddamn top line. Of course,
Republicans stay winning.
Light doesn't dispel darkness. It helps me see the darkness and face it.
Fools.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
So, my understanding is that you're kind of against illegal immigrants, yes?
We are
I am against illegal immigration. Okay, so then what's the overall idea behind that?
I will be there to balance it.
I've talked about it to a few people, but I guess I can reiterate to you. Yep. I think that illegal immigrants depress wages in this country. I think they make housing more expensive, and I think that some of them are coming in and committing crimes. Obviously not all of them, but if they do come in, it should be zero of them committing crimes because they shouldn't be here in the first place.
All right, so you're against illegal immigrants on the off case that they'll commit a crime in the country.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at Laken Riley. You know, look at Laken Riley. You know, murdered an illegal immigrant who had been deported 5 times, came back and murdered a UGA.
I mean, you're right. If I remember correctly, most murders done in the U.S. are committed by U.S. citizens, not by immigrants.
My friend.
Immigrants are a vast minority.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
It should be zero. Because these people shouldn't be here in the first place. So it doesn't matter whether it's, you know, 1.
So why shouldn't they be here? Why shouldn't they be here?
Because it's illegal.
Oh, because it's illegal?
Well, no, it's not.
Okay, first, if we want...
I'll let you touch one.
I was actually going to touch on that.
He's obviously saying it's illegal to
Yeah,
correct.
so they shouldn't be here because it's illegal, right? So we're saying that our laws are based on the laws of the time. No.
Sorry. I want to clarify. Because that's obviously not true because the law says that. That means it's right.
Okay.
It's not, of course, true.
All right.
This law, I believe, is right. I believe that illegal immigrants do harm in this country by making it a worse place to live for people who are born in this country who are American citizens.
So what are you going to say about the fact that most of the lower wage, more monotonous, physical jobs are done by immigrants? That's the thing that we have. Where most Americans do more intellectual jobs.
The way that we look at that is almost a little bit, I don't know, it's kind of racist, it's kind of nasty. Like you're looking at these people and saying that's what illegal immigrants are good for. They're good for low-wage jobs, and that's what they're good for, and that's why they're here.
That's not what I'm saying.
It just kind of makes it seem that
I can
way,
see how you can say that, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they come to the country and work those jobs, and Americans go and specialize into other things that benefit the country more. There's an argument to be said. Oh, am I not? Cool. And there's an argument to be said that yes, they come in and they do take jobs, but they also take the jobs that most Americans have been proven that we don't want to take.
See, I don't think that's true. And I understand you can say that, and that's totally fine, but I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
But I think there would be, of course, if you were to stop illegal immigration, and you were to deport all of these people out of this country, you would have some economic disruption. Sure. But then wages would start to rise, right? Which is a good thing for everyone in this country. You're able to afford groceries, you're able to afford housing, all these different things and services that makes it more difficult when you have illegal immigrants here. Illegal immigrants are also taking advantage of Social Security. Sure, they might pay property taxes and sales tax and thing, but they're not paying the same taxes that an American citizen is paying and yet getting benefits.
But how are they taking advantage of Social Security? Because Social Security requires you to have a Social Security number, have citizenship. They can't get access to benefits.
Well, many of them are faking Social Security.
I'm sorry?
Many of them are faking Social Security numbers, but that's beside the point. I'm saying social services, not Social Security.
Okay, so I heard Social Security, and you're now saying social services. I get what you're saying, but if social services are only for citizens of the country, shouldn't social services be for everybody in the country, not just for the people who deem it to be okay to use?
They're not paying for it. So someone comes in and they... Not in the same way.
But
definitely not in the same way, right? They don't have to pay taxes like you and I pay taxes if you're an American citizen.
It doesn't matter how they pay taxes. They're still paying taxes. They're still funding that infrastructure. So to say that they can't use it, they're still paying for the infrastructure one way or another. It's not like
they're not paying the same amount of taxes as us, right? If you were to look at the amount of taxes that people are paying, especially if you're getting someone in a different country that you don't even know is here, you know nothing about them, you don't know why they're there, what they're doing, nothing about their family, you can't say that that person is paying the same amount of taxes. American citizen.
Then, okay, so I don't know how much you make, but I'm going to guess you make a significant amount more than I do. I'm going to suggest, because you can make a living. I'm a university student, I'm working part-time. I don't pay as much taxes as you do in any metric, because our tax system is graduate, right? So how are you going to argue that they're not taking much taxes from American citizens who use these services when other American citizens pay their taxes too? We could also argue that billionaires also pay no taxes at all, yet we all pay a bunch of taxes.
Right, and I'm with you on that. Yeah. I'm totally with you on that. The way that corporations are able to lobby the government to get tax breaks and things like that is criminal, and it shouldn't be happening. Where Amazon comes in and pays zero taxes. There are people that are talking. That is different than the illegal immigrant.
I don't think it is.
Because you also have the burden on the American taxpayer itself. Because think about all the illegal immigrants who are going to someplace like jail, like illegal immigrants, or illegal immigrants who are going to the ER or something like that, or going to schools, overloading the school system. Those are taxes that American citizens are having to pay and then work for these types of people.
So one, jails are privately owned, not publicly owned, which means that they have contractual minimum amounts of prisoners in place. Which means if you want to argue that taxpayer dollars are being wasted, we need to argue against the privatization of prisons.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, but Americans are paying taxes. They are paying taxes to do it, of course. Prisons are privatized.
In California, we're paying billions of dollars in taxes.
Yeah, well, actually, also Texas. Yeah, I mean, every state has that. Yeah. And then for the ER, most states actually have laws forbidding that from being used. Taxpayer money being used to fund ER services for immigrants. But then that also brings up the question, why do we need to pay for our ER? Why are they so expensive to the point where people can't pay it on their own to begin with? So both of these possible things are valid, but you're addressing it the wrong way. Our cost of living crisis isn't because of immigrants. In fact, the cost of living crisis is because we aren't building enough housing. We aren't building private schools. We aren't building publicized housing. We aren't paying our employees. If we actually address the problem, it's not trying to get rid of the team as others.
I am ready to put on a show.
You make a lot of good points. I'm not going to tell you to make good points because I agree with you on a lot of them. I just think that some of this comes down to some basic economics, right? Let's say you have two houses here, right? There's two American citizens, right? And then a third person comes in, cuts in line, and says, I want to buy this house, and we'll get this. That depresses the market. That changes the value of the demand that you have, right? And that's very basic. You had 10 million illegal aliens come in, 15,000 people crossing the border every single day illegally.
I have risen.
With that happening, you cannot tell me that doesn't affect economics in any sort of way.
Well, actually, you're
It
right.
of course does.
You're correct, but the problem is that the large amount of the economic impact is from the illegal immigrants in the state. In fact, that's corporations coming in and buying single-family homes or these apartments. In Albuquerque, what is it? Every single apartment complex I could find is owned by one company, Greystar. So we want to talk about the fact of the cost of living and housing prices. It has nothing to do with
I'm with you.
immigrants.
I've been saying the exact same thing.
No,
all today I've been saying that BlackRock and Vanguard coming in and buying up these single-family homes is the worst. And that is something that should be stopped. But that doesn't also mean that what I'm saying isn't true and making it worse.
I also disagree that immigrants aren't necessarily, especially immigration across the border illegally, is a civil crime. It's not actually a criminal.
But it is a felony. There are people who charge you as a misdemeanor because maybe people don't have the balls to charge you as a felony, but it is a felony.
It's charging immigration court that it's civil court, not a criminal court.
It is a felony to cross the border illegally and then
Okay.
Yeah. It's important to the average Americans who are struggling in this country.
Okay.
When I see an average Americans who are struggling here, who are born here, American citizens, and then illegal immigrants come in and disrupt that, I find that to be a huge issue. And that's what I care about most. I want to see American citizens flourish before I see foreigners flourish. So, not because I'm a white nationalist.
I wouldn't argue that that's white nationalism, I'm going to say.
It's very much just
I would
a case
argue
that
that it's a bit insider versus outsider logic, to where we kind of alienate people who aren't within our in-group.
It has nothing to do with alienating.
Like, so, yeah,
Excuse
but
me.
white supremacism and imperialism are different things. We got to make sure we keep those separate.
It has
Because they
nothing
have-
to do with alienating other groups or anything like that. If someone from Sweden came over and didn't, was illegal, it'd be the exact same situation because they're getting benefits from the system. Right, 150,000 people from China came across the border, 2 years ago, last year. And it doesn't matter where they're from in that sense. It matters the fact that they're
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready. The battle starts in 5.
This is a little bit ridiculous, don't you think? It was very frustrating, especially
All you need to
because
do is capture the mission area.
this is
Got it?
not even something that I'm doing for any sort of significant personal benefit, right? Any serious, any sincere person that looks at the situation that isn't totally wrong, totally
Let's hear it.
will
Let's
very
hear it.
quickly, will very quickly recognize. Okay?
All looks like the mission area is yours.
Let's get it out.
This is not. This is simply being done because of my criticism of Israel and Jenk's criticisms.
Isn't it crazy that these people have made all the anti-Israel people look like retards? You think that it has to do with anti-Israel? Oh my god. Everything is Israel. It's all Israel. It's actually crazy. It's insane to me that anybody believes this. Oh my god.
Magic on?
He's so bad. It's so embarrassing, man. 2 weeks ago at Tommy Robbins Rally, several right-wing commentators were banned for the UK, so they're just leveling the playing field so the government doesn't look biased. I mean, whatever it is, right? So, it's just people giving us too much credit, I swear to God. Wait, wasn't this guy like, whoa, wait a second. But didn't that guy, wasn't his name like something like Epstein or something like that? It was some Steam, so yeah, probably, yeah. No doubt. I mean, honestly, I think that it's kind of overblown too. It's like everything is there's no way everything can be the truth. There's gotta be like some shit that white people did, some shit that fucking Chinese did. Like it can't be, every problem can't be because of the truth. It can't, like just statistically, it's like impossible.
This is not a sincere gimmick over anti-Semitism. Okay. This is not even a conversation on like whether.
And so this is the problem, right? It's like you can't even address any of the actual concerns people have. Like you can't even. This is one of the big. I think this is one of the best ways that you can look at like why he's a bullshitter. Because he's not able to accurately summarize and react to the responses and the feedback that he's getting from people. He has to constantly mischaracterize it and then reframe it in a way that's disingenuous. So, like, that's really the problem. It's like, so it had nothing to do with Israel. It had nothing to do with, like, Palestine. It had to do with you supporting terrorist organizations, probably, right? I mean, like, let's be real. He kills all legitimate criticism. He does.
Anti-Semites deserve to be banned or anything like that. Because this is not about anti-Semitism at all.
Yeah.
So the fact that South by Southwest also, after this invitation,
and the reason why he's upset about this is it makes him look really bad. Like, if you're getting banned from countries for being anti-Semitic, it's going to hurt a lot of his opportunities and his potential in, like, the country. Because, like, now you're going to have people that don't want to have him, you know, involved with that. Because, like, this guy literally got banned from an entire country because of anti-Semitism, right? So it just makes you look, like, really, really, really bad. So that's the reason why he's fighting against it. And he's, like, so upset about it. Was he upset when it happened to Nick? No, he's probably supporting him.
I will leave this universe a better place than it was before I was created.
Turned around
I am at your service.
and raised the shittiest statement of all time, basically saying, yep, you're done. We've deleted you from the page. You are non-person. Sorry.
And again, the reason why he's mad is that he wants to co-opt South by Southwest to push more Muslim identity politics. That's why. That's the exact reason why.
Really messed up. But I had a statement on South by Southwest. It said South by Southwest was a minor part of my trip to the UK. They totally didn't defend me or Jake at all.
Why should they? How can they possibly defend terrorism? How can they possibly defend supporting literal terrorists and saying raping white women is harm reduction? How can you defend that?
You are safe now, my friend.
Why would you even want them to defend that? Like, if they were my friends, I wouldn't want them to defend them, because then it would make them look bad. I found them. The captain's supposed to go down with their ship, not to tell everybody else what they're in this together. You gotta take accountability for things that you said and did, and acknowledge that some people don't want to carry your baggage.
Healing power.
To me?
I remember the Another epic victory! Big win!
This is from such a long time ago. This is like, I remember this is from like fucking like, oh my god. This is an old one, damn. Oh my god. An ancient meme. Yeah, this is a really, really old one.
They're actual fucking losers, and I will never work with them for the rest of my life. If you bought,
they're actual fucking losers, and they're working on. Wait, what? So, by the way, I saw this too. This is some girl that won election yesterday. Democratic Socialist Malak Hiros has won our Colorado House primary in a shocking result. This is going to keep happening, by the way. So you are going to keep having socialists win offices, and the reason why is because the Democrats have no values. They have no values, no priorities, nothing. Another terrorist supporter, she's definitely, I think, so it's this woman. Yeah, it's the woman that was like talking about how like 9/11 was like our fault, right?
Abolishing ICE is just one step, right? Like, abolishing ICE is just one step, right? Democrats have been in power multiple times over the last few decades and did nothing to address the immigration reform that we actually need.
Expenditures, increased spending.
Exactly, yeah. And so I think there has to be an immediate pathway for every single undocumented immigrant that's here in this country today that does not require them to shell out thousands of dollars to go through the process, for it to take decades at a time to be able to get to citizenship, an immediate pathway to citizenship, and then just
Yeah, they want to give everybody in the country citizenship who's here illegally, and this is the person that won. The reason why they're winning Democratic primaries is because Democrats have no defense against this. Democrats have literally no defense against people that are like this because they built their entire party and all of their ideology around virtue signaling. It's completely built around virtue signaling, emotional messaging, and other forms of emotional guilt tripping, emotional blackmail, and everything. So the moment that people from the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, the moment that they go even farther to the emotional blackmail, the moment that they go even farther to the guilt tripping, Democrats have no choice but to acquiesce and to enable them because that's the only values that they have. No Democrat, like this is the reason, like if you look at, like, for example, like how proud are you to be an American, like, you know, Republicans versus Democrats, just the Democrats want them massively. It's like the lowest that I think people have ever seen it. Like, let's see here, how proud are So, I don't know, I spelled it wrong, but I think you guys can clearly see what's going on. Yeah, this is the graph. Pride of being an American by political party. So, most Democrats, 36% of Democrats are not proud to be Americans. Or, sorry, are proud to be Americans. So that means 74%, well, I mean, not necessarily, it's not always like binary that way. But in a big way, a lot of these people are not proud to be Americans. Democrats say these people moderate once in power, and then there's this. Well, let me see what this is. I'll take a look at it. Yeah, they hate America, right? I mean, it's very sensitive.
Wait! To abolish ICE and pass Medicare for all!
Yep.
We will not wait to put an end to the politics of the past, to get big money out of our politics, to reject corporate PACs and APAC. Dagger's back. Their team's
There's no way they played that, right?
And no, we will not wait to end the genocide in Palestine.
That's it. By the way, the reason why they want to abolish ICE and do Medicare for all is so they can continue invading the country with foreigners and then have Americans be footing the bill for all these foreigners to have infinity kids. That's the reason why they want to get rid of ICE. That's the reason why they want Medicare for all. They don't want this as an means, they want it as a means. And the goal of that means is for them to be able to consolidate political power and then use it to wield as a racial demographic voting bloc to do whatever they want for their group. That's all they want, right? That's what they're doing. Medicare for foreigners. Yeah,